Hey everybody, I'm Night of Living Dolls, and today I'm drawing the first 5 prompts of Cringetober. It's basically a month-long art challenge where every day you get a prompt for something that's sometimes deemed cringy by people, and it's just a really fun time, and it's not serious, and yeah, it's great. So I'm trying it out this year. And as an extra level of challenge, I suppose, I am trying to draw each prompt with my own characters, so no fan art of other stuff. So the first prompt that's on screen now was screenshot redraw, and it was really tricky for me to actually find something to redraw because, to be honest, I don't watch a lot of TV shows or stuff like that. So I ended up going with a screenshot from BuzzFeed Unsolved, which I only started watching this year. Like, I'd heard of it a long time ago, and never really gave it much thought. But I've watched quite a few episodes, mostly the supernatural ones, and it's a fun time. I can see why people like it so much. So I decided to redraw this screenshot here from the Annabelle episode with my characters Sky and Michael. And they're also a ghost hunting kind of duo here. It was fun because I got to think about which one would be Shane and which one would be Ryan. And Sky would probably be more like Ryan, to be honest, even though she does not believe in ghosts, but she would do her research about like the things they were investigating and things like that. Like she would know the history of buildings, and I think if they were going to go and see Annabelle, she would definitely like look into the backstory and see what's true and what's part of the movie, while Michael would kind of be like, "Ooh, a haunted doll, sweet, let's go poke it with a stick." And so that's why he's in Shane's place here. But this was a really fun kind of thing to do. I don't think I've ever really redrawn any screenshots before. Not like this anyways, so it was a really fun time and I liked it. I went pretty simple with like the shading and everything, mostly because this was like day one and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to like fill each challenge, and I didn't want to make it like super serious. And I just wanted to like have fun with it and do some quick drawings, and it was a really good time because I have not drawn my characters like just for myself as finished drawings in quite a while. Um, I used to post more art online as well, back when DeviantArt was kind of a thing, and since that died out a little bit, I kind of stopped, but I'm getting back into it, and I'm having a really good time drawing my characters and stuff. And for the backgrounds on these as well, just because I'm at that part here, I wanted to point out that I did try and redraw the backgrounds just really simply, but it wasn't turning out good, and so I got fed up with it, and I just kept the backgrounds as they were, and then I did like a little bit of an overlay and stuff like that, and it was pretty much good to go. And I really like the way this one turned out. It's cute. It's fun. Day two's prompt was tsundere, which is like this trope that I guess is usually found in anime, where like a character pretends that their crush is annoying because they're embarrassed about it. At least that's as far as I can tell. I had never really heard of it before. I watched the video that went along with the prompt list. I'll link it in the description, to get ideas for a couple of these because, like, I genuinely had no idea. So that was that one. I don't really have any characters that are 100% like that, so this was a tricky one to find somebody to fill it out. But I went with Eden, who is one of my newer characters. But basically, with her, she's got a crush on one of my other characters, who is Josephine. But the thing is that Josephine is kind of like really mean to the other characters, and uh, to everybody else in general. Like, she's just not a very nice person. So, you know, if somebody had an idea or thought or suggested, I guess, that Eden might have a crush on her, that could be kind of awkward because people would be like, you don't actually like her, do you? Like, she's the worst. So I imagine Eden would probably have to, um, like, pretend that no, of course not, even though, of course, actually, yes. Um, but yeah, so it was an interesting one. And it made me think about like my character dynamics and stuff, which I always love. I love how characters interact and stuff, and that's honestly why I probably end up making so many characters, because it's just a lot of fun to have them all hang out and interact and stuff. But yeah, other than figuring out what I was drawing and who I was drawing, this came together pretty easily. Um, yeah, Eden's a newer character, and I haven't drawn her super often, so I was glad for the opportunity to draw her for sure. And I think this one turned out cute. I like her face. Um, and then for shading on this one, I did go with my more usual style of shading instead of the airbrush stuff I did in day one. Just because it's easier for me, and since this was a pretty simple drawing, it's just like a half body and stuff. I didn't really feel the need to go crazy with anything. Um, I've been trying out this thing lately where I use my airbrush for hair, and it works out pretty good. I did eventually switch to using the pencil tool though, and I like the way that looks. And I made the background pink because Josephine's character is all about pink, and so I thought it would be a good way to like imply who she's kind of talking about in a way. And that was day two. Day three's prompt was oversized prop, and this is one of the ones I followed really loosely, but I had a really good idea for it, and I wanted to draw it, and so the idea I came up with was to draw Riley, and then because in his story he gets turned into a werewolf, I decided the oversized quote-unquote prop would be this giant wolf skeleton that's like following him, I guess. I don't think this is going to be canon or anything. Maybe like in a nightmare or something, but I just honestly had a really good idea and I wanted to draw it, so here it is. I really like the way this one turned out. It looks cool. Um, it did kind of make me laugh a little bit because I decided to make the skeleton glow blue. Unfortunately, I didn't get to record that part. I didn't realize that I wasn't recording, and so I missed all of that, but oh well, you know, it happens. But anyways, it did make me laugh doing a glowing blue skeleton because I was like, oh boy, are people going to compare this to Sans? I hope not. Um, but even if they do, it is Cringetober. And so, you know what? Just, it's fine. One thing I did really like on this, though, when I drew the wolf skeleton, I, um, I used the pencil for the line art on him, and I think it looks really cool. And I made it kind of sketchy on purpose, and so I think it almost makes him kind of look like a ghost or something, which could be very cool. And definitely very scary. I would not want to meet this guy at all. Um, but the drawing turned out really cool. I love drawing animal skeletons. They're some of my favorite things just because they're so detailed and stuff. I always use reference photos for them because otherwise I would definitely mess them up. So it was nice to have an excuse to draw an animal skull, and I guess more of the skeleton too, because usually I just draw the skull, but this time I got to add a bit of like the spine and the shoulder blades and stuff. I had to make the pose up on my own, but otherwise it was through reference photos and stuff like that. But yeah, day three is definitely one of my favorite days, and even though it only vaguely follows the prompt, it's it's good. I like this one a lot. Day four's prompt was Fursona, which is something I don't have, but my character Sky does. So I drew her Fursona, who is this sheep character. I originally made this character as an art doll, and then because it was following Sky's color scheme so much, I was like, you know what? I think these two should be the same character. And so that's how I came up with her. She was my very first try at an art doll, so she's definitely not great. I brought her over to my desk as sort of a reference photo, and while I was moving her, her feet and one of her hands fell off, so I felt really bad about that, and I'm gonna have to fix it when I have the time. But she's really cute, and I like her a lot. And so for the drawing, because this character is sort of like a clown, I decided to have her juggling, and I used the art doll itself to get a good pose reference, which was very handy, and yeah, it worked out really good because I got to have her right there, and that way I could make sure I got all of the details because she does have a whole bunch of little details. Um, but this one, it turned out really cute. I like it, and I don't usually draw like animal characters very often, so it was definitely good practice. It's actually kind of funny. Usually when I'm drawing human characters and I draw their legs, they end up looking too much like animal legs, and so I was like, well, I should have absolutely no problems drawing her legs then. And no, I did not. They came together super easily, so I don't know why that is, but if I can draw animal legs well, then I guess it's fine. Um, but I added like a glitter effect on her collar and the like bracelets around her wrists and ankles with the bells because in real life they are sparkly. Um, if you're curious about how this art doll does look, I have pictures of it on my Tumblr at Night of the Living Dolls. And I also have a side blog called Dawn of the Living Dolls. I don't think I've ever mentioned them before on here, but they do exist. And that's pretty much the only social media I have now. And it's where I post all of my art and my dolls and different stuff like that. And then I also just talk about American Werewolf in London a lot because it's my favorite movie, and I pretty much, anytime there's a post about it, I will reblog it. Not that that's relevant to this at all. I don't know. Like I said, I'm obsessed. Um, but shading this one was fun. I tried to make it look like there was light coming down from above, like a spotlight, and I think it turned out pretty good. I went super simple with the background, like I did for most of these drawings. I just added some stars, and it was cute. Day five's challenge was to draw a human version of something, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do for this ever since I saw the prompt. So basically, if you don't know, I have a whole bunch of characters that started out as Sparkle Dogs, which I am turning into human designs, and those are my ball jointed dolls like Sunny and Polaris and Lexi. Um, so this is one of those characters. His name is Jason, and the inspiration for his Sparkle Dog design was to be a character inspired by Gloomy Bear. And so, yeah, from Gloomy Bear to Sparkle Dog to human. So he's kind of technically a human version of Gloomy Bear. I think it works fine, at least for the prompt, anyways. So, for this specifically, what I wanted to do was give him an outfit based on actually a pair of earrings that I have. I think I got them at either Hot Topic or Spencer's, definitely one of the two. anyways, they're Gloomy Bear earrings, and they're mismatched, but on one of them, he's got blood all over his face, and he's got this big spiky collar with a giant chain on it. And so that was the inspiration for this drawing specifically. This one was so much fun. I love drawing characters that are like emo or alt or however you want to call it. I had a really good time with this one. I remember when I drew like the pose and everything, I was like, oh man, this is kind of cringe. But then I was like, well, of course it's cringe. It's Cringetober. Like, you gotta have fun with it. And I did definitely have a lot of fun with this one. And I gave him a little Gloomy Bear keychain. And I think it's just the cutest thing ever. And when I eventually make him into a doll, I think I may have to give him one just for fun. He's definitely on the list. I don't think he's going to be the next doll that I make, but he'll be there soon, I think. And I'm very excited for that to be a thing, and so that way I can make him a whole bunch of cool outfits and stuff, and tons of bracelets. I love making bracelets for my dolls. I wear a lot of bracelets myself, so whenever I get to have characters that are similar in a way, it's so much fun. I actually had not drawn a human version of Jason yet, so this was actually quite good to have, because if I do end up turning him into a doll soon, I would like to have some sort of plan. And I think definitely like minus the giant chain and collar thing, I think this would be definitely an outfit that I would give him. So it's a good sketch to have. I mean, he could definitely have the giant collar and chain, but it definitely wouldn't be like an everyday thing. Well, I mean, it could be, but that would be kind of unreasonable, I guess. Maybe a more sized down version of that. But yeah, and then I just pretty much color picked colors from his old design because they were the same colors as Gloomy Bear. I remember I did color pick them from that. And then I gave his little fingerless gloves, like, paws on them, and that's so cute. I love it. I kind of wish I had a pair like that just because they're so cute. But I definitely have way too many fingerless gloves as it is now. I do not need to buy any more. If you saw before, I did think about giving him fangs, but I didn't really like the way they looked, so I decided to keep those out. And then for the shading, I did a combination of using the pencil and the pen. So on most of his clothes, I tried to use the pencil to make it softer, and then the pen on other stuff to be more of like a cell shading look. And I like the way it turned out. I'm definitely learning with shading. I am not an expert by any means, but it looks. I'm getting there. It's looking good, and I really like the way his hair turned out. Actually, on this drawing, I think it looks really cool, and definitely reminds me of like older art, I guess, if that makes sense. From DeviantArt, of course. I miss DeviantArt. I wish it wasn't all just AI art now. um, and then for the background, I did end up going super simple, and of course, had to get the red and black checkers in there because, of course. And then I just did like a blood splatter print for the background. So those were the first 5 days. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be back really soon with the next 5, and hopefully I can keep this up for all of October, but we will have to see. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!